So today we're going to learn the second way to find the distance between 2 points. Yesterday we worked with Pythagorean theorem. Today we're going to use the distance formula. So the distance formula looks complicated, but it's really not. Everything in the distance formula is under a square root sign. So we're going to need a relatively large radical sign. And the distance formula is parenthesis x of the second pair minus x of the first pair squared plus y of the second pair minus y of the first pair squared. So go ahead and write that down carefully. And we're going to use the formula to find the distance between the 2 points. When we're not given a graph, this formula works out much more easily for us. So the first thing we have to do is label our points. So this is the first pair. So this would be x of the first pair, y of the first pair, x of the second pair, y of the second pair. Next thing we do is write our formula. So again, a radical sign, parenthesis, x of the second pair minus x of the first pair squared, plus, parenthesis, y of the second pair minus y of the first pair squared. So now all we have to do is substitute in the correct points. So we have x squared, which in this case is 0, minus x1, which is a -6. So minus a minus, and all of that will be squared. Plus y2 is 7, minus y1, which is 4, and that quantity will be squared. Well, when you have two subtraction signs next to each other, you know you have enough lumber to make a plus sign. Or when you see a subtraction sign, add the opposite. So this is going to be 6 squared, and remember this is all still under a radical sign, 6 squared plus 7 minus 4 is 3 squared. So distance is going to be equal to the square root of 45. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 9 is 45. Go ahead and get your calculators out now and find out what the square root of 45 is, rounding to the nearest 10. Raise your hand when you have it. What'd you get, Ethan? 7. And indeed, distance is equal to 6.7. Okay, so once you have the formula, substituting in the correct numbers is really just a matter of labeling your points correctly. Let's try one more together. So 2, writing the formula down, distance equals the square root of, parenthesis, x of the second pair minus x of the first pair squared, plus, parenthesis, y of the second pair minus y of the first pair squared. Our points are here. We're going to label those x of the first pair, y of the first pair, x of the second pair, y of the second pair. Now putting the numbers in the correct spots, we have d equals radical sign. So x of the second pair is 4 minus a minus 2, and that will be squared, plus we have a -3 minus a minus 2, and that will be squared. So our quantities, distance would then be equal to the square root of 6 squared plus, so you've got a net, yes, I'm listening.
Oh, wouldn't it be 4? Wouldn't it be -3 minus 4?
Oh, it would be, thank you. -3 minus 4. Thank you very much for that, Devin. I was looking at the wrong number. That would really have goofed us up. And so if it's -3 and we're going to subtract 4 more, that means we're going to add here -7 and then squared. Thanks, Dev. Okay, so distance equals radical sign. 6 times 6 is? 36. And then -7 times -7?
-49. No, positive 49.
Aha. Positive 49. And this is the reason that distance can never be negative. Have you heard that saying before? When you're finding this distance, because you're squaring a negative number, it will always end up being positive. So then we have the square root of 85, and who has the answer for me to the nearest 10? Cam alternate?
9.3.
And sure, distance equals 9.2. And that's our final answer. Any questions about the distance formula?